All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I think we'll get started so that way we are good on our time. And if anybody else joins in, I did hit record. So, Taquan, I'm not sure if it's going to be recording on your end or on mine. So that way we can make a video and get it posted. Just let me know the tech part about it. But so let me share my screen and we'll get started. All right, are we good? Just want to make sure everybody can see everything.
Yes, it looks good.
All right, great. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Olga St. Pierre, and I am a real estate agent with Keller Williams Real Estate in our local community. So what we are talking about today is foreclosure. We're talking about being behind on the mortgage payments. This is something that I decided that I'm going to resurrect because we haven't seen a lot of these things probably back from 2010, 2012. However, with the furloughs, with the layoffs, and the pandemic that is still affecting us, I think this is a relative topic. This is something that I am passionate about to educate our community on. You know, if this is something that happens to you, what is some of the best ways of protecting yourself, making sure that you don't fall too far behind, and to just help you understand that the help is there for you. So just a little bit about us. We have been working in serving our clients in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and being part of our community for the last 11 going on 12 years. This is my passion. This is what I do full time. And our team mission is to help anyone with the plan and desire and the financial health to become homeowners. And once you do, we are here for you. We help you be responsible and sustainable members of our community. We do help our clients, friends, family, co-workers move pretty much anywhere in the United States and Canada. And also we have an extensive concierge service to help you and be here for you, help you with any questions, as well as be a resource, right? Think of us as your virtual yellow pages. We have contractor recommendations for professionals. If you need a CPA to help you, an accountant to help you do your taxes, or financial planner, anyone. So we invite you, encourage you to reach out to us with any questions, whether if it's something that you may want to ask us after this workshop, or if you want to do this in private. We are here and we do this work and love it full time. So the focus of our workshop today is what we're going to talk about is some terminology for you to kind of get familiar with. What are those things mean? If you see them, maybe this is something for you or for a loved one or a friend. What is the foreclosure process overview? Just some general things to know in New Jersey as well as Pennsylvania. What are your options, things to be aware of, and what's next? So that's a quick outline of what we're talking about. So a couple of terms for you to just to know about, right? What is a foreclosure? Foreclosure is a situation in which a homeowner is unable to make mortgage payments as required when he originally purchased the home and obtained the mortgage. And what happens is this is a legal process that gets put in place, which allows the lender to seize the property and eventually evict the occupants. It sounds a lot scarier than what it is. However, foreclosure term is there, it's out there, and you're probably going to hear it more often as we are entering a second year of being affected by the pandemic. Act 91 is a notice. Take action to save your home from foreclosure that is usually sent by the lender as an FYI, right? For your information, hey, we just want you to let you know. And that usually happens once you are about 2 months behind on your mortgage. Short sale is an excellent alternative. I am a big believer in short sales, and I did quite a few of them back in the 2008 through 2012 timeframe. It is the ability for you to have an agreement with your lender to sell your home for less than what you owe on your mortgage and have the lender approve that. And deed in lieu of foreclosure is a voluntary transfer of your property ownership to the bank. Basically, you give them your deed, you give them the keys and say, here, because this is really the best that I can do right now. So general foreclosure process, just wanted to kind of give you an idea. Now, the good thing that I'm following closely right now is there's a moratorium, there's a holding pattern right now on any kind of evictions on foreclosures, because the government wants to make sure that members of our community have the opportunity to get back on their feet. All right. So right now, any kind of evictions or any kind of illegal process that the banks usually pursue is put on hold. Right. So we're watching closely what's happening. And once the current extension expires, we're going to keep an eye out and see what happens next. Okay. So, but in general, this is just a general timeline that takes place because the lender is, they have to go through the process. If the mortgage is not being paid, they have to take action. So days 1 through 60 is the first or third mortgage payment that is not paid. This is when the lender is reaching out to you and saying, hey, what's going on? How are things going? How can we help you? All right. There's going to be mail that's going to be arriving. On day 125, foreclosure attorney is actually going to file paperwork with the county and the borrower is notified. And at this time is when foreclosure process becomes public. Okay? And what people don't realize is that, yes, you having a mortgage, all of this information gets recorded in the public courthouse and anyone can access that information. And once your financial distress becomes known because of the foreclosure process being filed in the county, you are going to get a flood of mail and calls and visits, and it's very stressful. And a lot of people that I have worked with in the past just didn't know what to do. And there's a lot of scams that are happening as well because everybody's trying to supposedly help you at the same time. So overall, a foreclosure process can take, depending on the lender that you have your mortgage with, it can take anywhere from potentially a year or longer. Or if it's a smaller lender that likes to keep things moving, it can happen quicker. So this is just a general timeline to kind of give you an idea. Now, this is something that I want to stress out to you. And I talk to people on the regular basis, and this is what I always point out, is that the absolute worst thing you can do if you get behind on your mortgage payments, or you cannot pay your rent in some cases as well, is just do nothing. If you think that you're going to put your head in the sand and just not open your mail, not take those phone calls, right? That is only going to make matters worse. Okay. What I can tell you for a fact is that any mortgage lender's website you go to, the first thing that you're going to see is, if you have been affected by the pandemic, reach out to us. We're here to help you. And that's exactly what they're going to do. But you actually need to make the first step, raise your hand and tell them that you need help, that you're in trouble. All right. So please, if you have questions and you're not sure who to turn, I'm here to help you and provide you with some advice and guidance. However, your concerns and issues will not magically disappear or go away. And just throwing things away and not taking phone calls is not going to do anyone any good. It's only going to make matters worse. So that's message number 1 from today. So how do we manage this so that way it doesn't get worse? I have laid out a template for you with some suggestions to help you. So number 1 is stay ahead. Okay. And acting now means that if you foresee financial troubles, if you are still in furlough, if you're going to lose your job and things are not going to go back to normal, right? Your hours are being cut, you need to notify your lender immediately, even if it hasn't happened yet. If you're being proactive, your phone calls to the lender are being recorded. The lender is going to make sure that they take down notes in your account, in your file, and that's very important. And you want to tell the lender, hey, I am potentially maybe in trouble. I just want you to know this, that I am trying to figure this out, and I want you to be aware of what's happening in my life. When you're speaking with your lender, a couple of things you can do. You are inquiring about your lender's options. Just remember that what you hear on TV and you see on social media is one thing. However, every institution, every lender has their own set of guidelines and procedures that they have established on how they're handling what is going on right now. Okay. So tell your lender that you definitely want to work with them and you need your help. It's okay to ask for someone's help when you are in trouble, right? Because you're going to have a couple of people and a couple of institutions potentially helping you rather than just you trying to struggle and figure this out. So a couple of options may be is mortgage modification, right? It's principal reduction. It could be lowered monthly payments for a period of time. It can be change in interest rate. There is a refinancing option. So right now, a lot of people are going through refinancing because of really, really low interest rates. Forbearance, which is what a lot of our clients and other people that I know that they had to do, meaning that you just reduce or defer payments for a certain period of time until you get back on your feet. So that's a great option. So find out what the options your lender is going to give you. And I promise you, they're going to work with you. Next, if staying at your home is not an option, right? Maybe if you are too far behind, okay, explore these options. Number one, is there an option to sell your home and then buy another one or rent, right? A lot of the clients that we have they have equity in their home, which means that their mortgage is a lot less than what the home is currently worth. So the opportunity is there just to sell it, get some money out, and then figure out other options. If you owe more than what the home is worth right now, let's talk about having a short sale. Okay, that's what we talked about that before. We work with your bank to see how we can make that happen. And then the final option is deed in lieu of foreclosure, where you voluntarily just give the keys to the bank and say, I'm sorry, but this is the best I can do. Again, this is taking action in your hands. This may be something that you're not proud of. It might be embarrassing for you. However, taking the action and control and trying to figure this out and asking for help is really the best thing that you can do. Number three, evaluate your financial situation. We talk about budgeting. We talk about sitting down and figuring out what your current and future income is going to be. What are your current and future expenses are? Potentially changing your spending habits is going to be needed, right? These are things that maybe you are, afraid to look at, something that is very uncomfortable. However, let's sit down and figure this out. What are some of the unnecessary expenses that you have that you can either reduce or cut down? And by doing that, you can review your bills for the last few months and see what's on there. So that way you get a bigger picture, right? You get an overview of where you are. Next, yes, I'm going to ask you to create a budget and a plan of action based on the current income and your necessary debt, right? And what I consider necessary debt are a couple of major categories. Number one is a housing, right? You always are going to need a roof over your shoulders, your food, and your utilities, right? Those are the major things that are number one, your most important bills, right? And then you also, of course, you need your transport as well. Next, late payments behind on your mortgage is going to severely affect your credit and your financial health. Okay, that is one of the biggest impacts on your credit score that we see is when you do not make your payments on time, right? So when you have your mortgage and you have your payment, you have a 15-day grace period from the beginning of the month until the 15th of the month to make your payment. Once that 15th of the month and 16th of the month hits, you are late, it's going to get reported to your credit agency and your credit score is going to drop. Okay? And in order to fix this, if we're talking about a foreclosure, if we're talking about short sale, it's going to affect your financial health anywhere from 2 to 3 to 7 years. And that's going to affect your ability to borrow money. It's going to affect your ability to buy major things. Maybe you'll need a new car or something else in the near future. So think about how this is not only going to affect you right now, today, this year, but also for the next 5 to 10 years as well. Okay. Is there an option for you to pick up some extra income? Amazon is hiring. I've seen actually a lot of restaurants that are currently hiring, right? You can maybe do Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, some other delivery companies, depending on your comfort level, of course. Is that an option for you? And the last one, of course, is there an ability to borrow funds? Maybe you have a 401k plan that you can borrow from, or maybe you have another, some kind of savings set aside that you can borrow from in order to get back on your feet, and then you can put that money back potentially or get back to savings. So let's talk about foreclosure scams. Those are vicious. Those are abundant. I've seen plenty of them. I've seen the mailing. Okay, so I just want you to be aware, vary a couple of these things. Number one, radio, TV, and social media. Okay, those can be extremely inaccurate and they may not be relevant for us right here, right? For things that are important and matter in California are not going to be what is going to be relevant to you right here in our community. Okay, distributed flyers, phone calls, and mail solicitations. There are going to be bankruptcy and foreclosure attorneys left and right sending you letters telling you that, hey, we will fix everything, make everything go away. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Nothing is ever easy. Working through foreclosure, working through being behind on your mortgage is not going to be easy. Okay, you may get actually visitors at your front door. Oh, I'm willing to buy your home. I am willing to help you, right, for a fee in advance. That is not a good option either. We already talked about attorneys promising to help. People who advise you to stop paying your mortgage or not to talk to your mortgage company are absolutely worst people, right? That is not, this is exactly the opposite of what I'm suggesting to you, okay? And of course, if you get any strange papers that are being asked for you to sign, please make sure that you either find someone's help or you find someone to talk to before you sign anything, right? If it doesn't look like, if it looks like scam, it probably is. Ask for another opinion, ask for another set of eyes to look at what it is that was being sent to you. And of course, get help, right? There are plenty of organizations that were established by our government, right, including the Urban Housing and Urban Development, which is part of the U.S. government. You can give them a call. It is a free and personalized service, right? If you are looking for just some kind of anonymity, just to speak with someone to get more information, you can also go online as well. Locally, seek recommendations for reputable local resources, right? You can definitely ask your realtor. This is something that I have done extensively in 2008 throughout 2012, and I think this is coming back again. County resources, there are foreclosure attorneys, as long as they come highly recommended and they're highly reputable, right? Don't just pick someone out of the one of the letters that you got or out of the yellow pages, so to speak, okay? And if you want to talk to someone, or if you want to talk to a couple of different people to see if you get the same type of advice, then meet for private consultations to discuss your options. So there's definitely no need to rush into it. However, the urgency is there for you to take action and to try and do it in a couple of different ways that are definitely available for you. Okay, so here is what's next. Now, this is very much short, okay? And the reason being is that everyone's financial situation is different, okay? So this, of course, is going to be recorded and is going to get uploaded into our YouTube channel. If you have any questions that you would like to run by me as a scenario, I'm more than happy to answer questions right now, or you can always contact me privately for a private phone call or a private Zoom consultation. I included my contact information as well. And of course, if you would rather talk to someone who has a legal expertise, which I don't, I can recommend you to a few good attorneys, financial advisors, or just to talk and vent, because we have clients who do that as well. We are here to help you in any way that we can. So that's what I had to share for you in terms of the workbook, and I'll definitely share a copy of this as well to anyone who is interested. And right now, I just wanted to ask if anyone has questions. Anything that is on your mind? Yeah. Hi, Christina.
Hi. I'm wondering if if it's possible to set up like automatic payments for a mortgage, like you do with your car.
Absolutely. That is one of the best ways that you can make sure that you're not being late on your payments. So my suggestion to you is, if you do online banking, you can log into your mortgage lender's website, and where there's a tab that pertains to you making payments, one of the options is always going to be set up auto pay, is what it's called. And I strongly suggest that you do that. What I always recommend is, when you set up the auto pay for your mortgage payments, if you get paid on the 31st or the 1st of the month, make your mortgage payments on the 5th of the month. That gives you time to get your paycheck deposited into your account, and then your mortgage payment will be automatically drafted from your checking account on the 5th of the month. And also, if you decide to go on vacation, or if you are not feeling well, you don't have to worry about being late because you forgot to mail the payment. Also, the mail has not been the most reliable lately. I don't know if you've noticed. This way, if you do the automatic deductions is going to prevent you from having those issues and relying on the post office to deliver your check.
Hi, Olga.
Hi.
Hi. I noticed that you didn't mention the conciliation conferences. Is that because of the moratorium?
What kind of conferences?
Conciliation, the conciliation conferences that they have in Philadelphia City Hall, that stops all the foreclosures in the city, and they also have them in New Jersey too as well. It's a conference between the attorneys, the housing counselors, and the mortgage companies, which the housing counselors help the consumers, navigate through the whole process of the mortgage. And it's like a court hearing. Are you familiar with the conciliation conferences?
I am familiar, and I haven't gone in that route because it's in a lot of the times I found it to be very client specific. It depends on the lender. It depends on where the client is in their process, right? Like how far behind are they? Where are they in the foreclosure process? These are some of the questions that I always run through when I'm talking to clients, asking them to tell me what their story is. How far behind are they? And then based on where they are in the foreclosure process, did they receive formal paperwork from the lender? Have they talked to the lender? Then I can advise them on a couple of best courses of options, depending on what their situation is.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent suggestion, also. Thank you for bringing it up. I appreciate it. Anyone else can think of anything else? Anthony, let's see, there's Deborah on here, Ruth Ann. Anything else that you can think of that's maybe on your mind that you are welcome to bring it here, or of course, if it's something that you want to talk about privately, we can do that as well.
Sure. I have one more question.
Sure.
I'm just wondering what the purpose is. My cousin did have this situation with a foreclosure where she was told to stop paying her mortgage and save up her money for a rental and all that. And I'm like, I get how that could mess up your credit. Like, why would you do that? But at the same time, if her credit was already messed up, I'm wondering what the is it for obvious reasons that I'm thinking because your credit is messed up by doing that, or are there other reasons as to why that was bad advice for her to get?
I'll be curious to know who gave her advice like this in the first place. And I hear it quite often where people think, well, my credit is in the toilet, so to speak, right, already. So I'm just going to not care anymore, and I'm just going to stop paying, and I'm just going to save my money. And unfortunately, a lot of people kind of adapt this bitter attitude because they think that there's no options, which in fact there are options. It's just going to take some time to get out of the unfortunate situation that they're in. So my suggestion always is, let's talk about and see where you are and how far along your foreclosure process is. It also depends on who your lender is, right? If it's a smaller bank, if it's a big bank, are they willing to work with you? Have they reached out? Have you reached out? So these are all the questions that I think need to be asked and answered in order to advise your cousin on what would be the best next step. But just stopping making mortgage payments just because how it is, that's pretty much putting your head in the sand and thinking that the bad news is going to go away.
Thank you.
Oh, sure thing. Anybody else has anything else that they want to add, maybe? Because we're always here to answer any other questions. All right, well, I got you down under 30 minutes, which is my promise. So I guess we will wrap up, and we will send you out a recording of this workshop as well as the handout that I have shared with you. And please, If you think that you know someone who may benefit from this information, feel free to share with them my contact information or the workbook and have them reach out. I would love to help in any way possible, just so that way less people end up in a, what they think as a situation that they cannot get out of, right? Where they think there's no hope. There's always something that can be done to figure out and how to get out of these situations. All right. Taquana, anybody else has anything else to say before we wrap up?
I was just going to note that I put our webinar schedule in the chat box as well as our YouTube channel. So if you want to check out our schedule, we have a lot of different classes coming up for the spring.
Absolutely. We are always out and about and teaching the things in the community and keeping everybody posted. All right, then we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. Ladies, thank you for having us. We are always happy to help you and provide more information and service to our community. And we hope to see you on another workshop. Happy spring, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.